Hi again, everyone. Dr. Tom McNamara here, back again for our course in Prep for College Math. We're working in Chapter 2 here on integers. And that, of course, introduces the concept of numbers with negative signs. So we're dealing with both positive and negative numbers. This is the first video where we're starting to do operations with these positive and negative numbers. So we'll start out with adding some positive and negative numbers. Okay, now, this first one, this is really more of a warm-up, right? These are both positive numbers, so we could have done this, of course, before. If you want, we can do a two-column format, right? 5 plus 6 is 11, carry the 1, and you get 4. So 25 plus 16 is 41. Okay. Now, whenever you're adding two numbers with the same sign, the resulting sum will have the common sign. So if you add two positive numbers, you get a positive number. If you add two negative numbers, you get a negative number. Okay? So basically, if we're adding two numbers that have the same sign, we can kind of just ignore the sign, pretend the numbers are positive for a little bit, do the addition, and then attach their common sign. So I've got a -7 and a -2. If I ignore the signs for right now, we're dealing with 7 and 2. 7 plus 2 is 9. They were both negative. The answer is going to be negative. Over here, -25 plus -48. So I know that my answer is going to be negative, and I just need to do 25 plus 48. Okay, that's a 13. We carry our 1. That is a 7. So I have -73. Make that a little bit more of a straight negative sign there. It looked like a little blob. All right. Last one here, we'll do -325 and -169. So once again, following our rule, I've got two numbers with the same sign. I can just kind of ignore the sign for right now. All I need to focus on is doing 325 plus 169. Okay, 5 and 9 is 14. Carry the 1. 1 plus 2 is 3 plus 6 is 9. So 494. So -325 and -169 is -494. Okay, and this would be the work that we'll need to show. Okay, so quick note, and this applies when your numbers have the same sign. So what I like to do is I like to just ignore the signs for step 1. And add the numbers as you would regularly. Add the positive whole number versions. Add their absolute value, if you will. Okay, add the numbers and attach the common sign to your answer. Okay, so adding numbers with the same sign is easy. Now, when you mix signs, things get a little more interesting. Okay, 6 plus -9. Okay, so let me plot this on a number line here. So we've talked about adding with like a chip model. I'm going to add with a number line here. 1, 2. Let me give myself a little more room there. Okay. Son of a... 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I've got myself a little number line. So I imagine here I'm standing at 6 on my number line. Now, if I had added a positive number to my 6, I would move to the right from 6. I would start at 6, and if I had added a positive, I would move to the right. Okay? So I'm adding a negative here. I'm going to move to the left. I'm going to start at 6, and I'm going to go to the left 9 spaces. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 spots to the left. Okay? And we can see from this picture, 6 plus -9 is -3. All right, now drawing a number line here is only convenient when you have kind of small numbers. If you're dealing with this problem here, I wouldn't recommend drawing a number line. Okay, the point I want to get at here is that if you're looking at this problem, we won't really know in advance what the sign is going to be. We have to look at the numbers individually. Okay, so I've got 6 and I've got -9. The -9 has the bigger absolute value. Okay, if the negative has the bigger absolute value, your answer is negative. And notice, 9 minus 6 is 3, so we get a -3 from this operation. Okay, we'll follow that same principle right here. Okay, I could draw a number line to do it. I'll just do the answer out. Okay, what I'm going to do is, I'm looking at my two numbers. I see the positive number has the bigger absolute value, so the positive number wins. So that means my answer will be positive. And I'm going to do 7 minus 2, which of course gets me 5. So 7 plus -2 gives me 5. Let's look down here at this example. I got -53 plus 39. So my negative number wins here. The negative number has the bigger absolute value. 53 beats 39. Okay? So I'm going to do my subtraction. I'll do 53 minus 39. Okay, I've got to do some borrowing here. Do 13 minus 9. I get 4. Okay, I get 14. Since the negative number wins, my answer is negative, and it's 14. All right, 506 versus 888. I'm comparing 506 and 888. The 888 is bigger, so the positive number wins. That means my answer will be a positive number. And then I do my subtraction. Okay, so 8 minus 6 is 2, 8 minus 0 is 8, 8 minus 5 is 3, so 382. Okay, so when you are adding numbers that have different signs, your answer could come out to be positive or it could come out to be negative. It depends on which of the numbers wins. Does the positive win or does the negative win? So we'll do some quick notes here down at the bottom. So the answer could come out positive or negative. It depends. If your positive number is the bigger absolute value, up in the examples I was calling that the positive wins. The positive number wins, then your answer is positive. If your negative wins, then your answer is negative. In either case, you get the numerical part of the answer by doing a subtraction. Subtract the absolute values of the numbers. In other words, I want you to ignore any negative signs and take the number with the bigger absolute value and subtract the number with the smaller absolute value. Okay? Comparing the sizes will tell you what the sign of your answer will be. Okay, let's do a couple more. Let's do some that have several numbers involved. Okay? So, here I'm just going to work left to right. All right? So, 9 plus negative 3. Okay, I got numbers with different signs. A positive and a negative. Positive number wins. The 9 is bigger than the 3. Okay, so the answer for this part is going to be positive. And 9 minus 3 is 6, so my answer is a positive 6. I still have to deal with the plus 5 and the plus minus 4. Okay, 5 plus 6 is 11. Okay, that's two numbers with the same sign. They're both positive. The answer is going to be positive. And now I'm back to the case of numbers with different signs. Positive 11 versus negative 4. The positive number wins, so I subtract 11 minus 4, get 7. And the answer would be positive since the positive wins. Now here, I could proceed in the exact same way. Or I could work smarter, not harder. Look at the whole problem first. Notice we have a minus 23 and a plus 23. Okay, if I have a minus 23 and a plus 23, those guys are going to cancel each other out. I've got numbers with different signs there. And remember, we would do a subtraction there. I do 23 minus 23. So I get 0. Okay, and the commutative law of addition says I can do this if I want. I can change the order. I can take the number that comes first and the number that comes last and add those if I want to. And in this case, it is much smarter to do that than slog through and keep track here. Notice also we have a 5 and a negative 5. Those two will also cancel each other out, so my answer is 3. Okay, so if I am conscientious and I look at the entire problem first before I start, I realize I can make use of that commutative law and change the order in which I'm doing things to make things easier. Remember, the commutative law and the associative law are tools that we can use to make things easier, and it certainly helps out a lot in this case. Now, of course, you got to remember, you have to take the sign with the number. This is not 23. Okay, this number here is negative 23. The sign is attached to the number. So some notes here. When you're doing a problem that has multiple numbers involved, work left to right, but make sure that you use the commutative and associative rules when they help make things easier, just like they did right here. Now, of course, for me to realize that, I have to look at the whole problem before getting started. And I would always recommend you do that. Look at the entire problem before you start. Okay, and that way you'll know, oh, okay, I see that negative 23 and that positive 23, those two cancel. That negative 5 and that positive 5 cancel. So I'm seeing down here, the stuff I'm going to be adding will undo the stuff I'm putting in over here. So I just skip it all together, okay? So hopefully this will help you get started on the assignment with adding signed numbers.